All right, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. It's 10 o'clock now, so I think we should just get started now. So today we're going to be talking about the veterans at work, the apprenticeship advantage. My name is Daniel Howard. I'm with Calvet on the CalTAP team. And let me just introduce what we'll be doing. So, like I said again, thank you for joining us. We have a special guest today. Stacy will lead us off. She's here with the Department of Industrial Relations. Uh, so she'll be going first, talking about the apprenticeship advantage and, all the benefits and things that come along with doing that. And following that, I'll be just doing a brief overview of your CalVet benefits and what those mean and are. And then we also will have a little discussion about what links do. And at the very end, we'll have 10 minutes of questions and answers for any questions you'll have during this presentation. So without further ado, let's have Stacy begin when she's ready.
All right. Well, good afternoon. So yeah, my name's Stacy Teagarden. I'm an apprenticeship consultant for the Department of Industrial Relations, and the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. So I'm just here to talk about different apprenticeship opportunities and how they could benefit you when you transition out of your military service. So currently in the state of California, we have we're just under 94,000. So this one must have been done a while ago. We've got 36,000 participating employers, over 300 educational institutions, and about 8,000 apprentices graduate annually. So within the opportunities, the main bread and butter of apprenticeship for many, many years has been building and construction occupations, as well as firefighting and barber cosmetology. However, in the last couple of years, we've had a new initiative to expand into new industries such as healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, civil service. We've got some pretty big employers out there that participate in these programs. So there's a lot of opportunity depending on your interest level. So I'm not going to read through all of these because I know that you can all take a look and recognize a lot of those names. But as you can see, there's some pretty big employers there within the state of California. Next one. So people often ask me what makes an apprenticeship. So I like to refer to it, or many people like to refer to it, as an earn while you learn program. And what I mean by that is it's a program that partners on-the-job training with classroom instruction. We'll go to the next slide. So we refer to classroom instruction as related supplemental instruction, or RSI, because the instruction you'll be getting is geared specifically towards your occupation or career choice. So it's related and supplemental to your on-the-job training. During the training, you'll receive theory and background on your occupation, a better understanding of the reasons that you do things a certain way or in a certain order. If it is a state registered program, all required classes are instruction free. And there's a lot of different models of training that happen. So for instance, like building and construction and barber cosmetology, they may have proprietary schools or training centers that you would attend. Where if, oh, you could go back. We're still talking about the last one, Daniel.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So, and then, with some of those newer industries that I talked about, healthcare, education, et cetera, they may partner with a local community college that already has a certificate in place for that career path. And you would be notified when you were going to go to school and what classes you were going to take and when you're going to take them. And in some cases, when you're at class, like for instance, if you have to take a full week off of work, you may be able to get paid by ER or the EDD. Now we'll go to the next one.
Mhm.
So the on-the-job training piece, when we develop a program, we put together what we call program standards. And essentially those are a contract between the state, the program, the employer, and the apprentice. And within those, we have a list of work processes. And those work processes are simply skills or tasks that need to be completed by the apprentice during their apprenticeship. So when they come out, they're a competent journey level worker or a professional worker within their career choice. Now, while you're doing the on-the-job training, you will always have qualified supervision by a journey person, or in some of those other industries, a professional worker. And that doesn't necessarily mean someone's going to be, hanging over your shoulder, watching every little thing you do. What it means is that you're going to be given tasks to do that you should be able to complete based on your skill level, but there's someone nearby that's qualified to help you, or that has already showed you the proper and the safe way to complete a task. For the paid on the job training, you do get what we call step increases, and that simply is a pay advancement. And those are typically going to be every 6 months. And as long as you complete the required on the job training hours and you successfully pass your classroom instruction, then you would receive pay increases throughout the duration of your apprenticeship until you became a journey level or a professional worker. And your VA benefits are available to you while you're working in an apprenticeship program. We can go to the next slide, Daniel.
Mhm.
So a lot of times people say, well, what's, my benefit as an apprentice? And we said, I talked about the earn while you learn. So you literally don't need to know much about the career that you're going into, and you'll get paid while they teach you to do it with those increases I talked about. And then the OJT training, the on-the-job training, that's pretty formalized because we've established those work processes and we have that qualified supervision to help you and assist you, become very efficient at your job. And then the informal instruction piece, we talked about that. It's just simply related to your career choice. And the big benefit is that once you attain those skills, those are yours for life. And if you decide to move somewhere else or, go to another company, you have those skills to take along with you within that career choice. And then for you veterans, you get to receive your VA benefits, which is a great perk. And we find that with employers, the employees tend to be a little bit more loyal. They feel invested in by the employer, so they tend to stay a little bit longer. Their productivity is increased because, again, the employee feels invested in. And I think that the employers like to know what those pay increases are going to be, and they can kind of map it out. So that's a real benefit for them. And that there's a list of skilled workers for them, right? So they could go in and find a worker in a specific area or specific specialties that they need and request that to go through that training. And then the workforce can be flexible, meaning, they can gear up if they really have a big job or something, and then slim down when times are tight. So, and it's proven time and time again that employers benefit from this just as much as the apprentice. We can go to the next slide. So just some key points to remember. Military careers are like apprenticeships. You begin with your basic knowledge and you advance in education, skills, rank, and income. As soon as you begin your apprenticeship program, you start earning an income. Programs will not indenture or register an individual as an apprentice if they don't have the on-the-job training piece for them. So sometimes there's a little bit of wait to get in these programs. However, many of them have a priority for veterans. So that's something you could ask if you were inquiring about some of the different programs out there. And we talked about those lifelong skills that you learn through your experience and your education, and that those are, yours for life, and employers are looking for skilled workforce, a lot, because we've got a lot of people retiring and some young people are coming in and they just haven't had the life experience yet to have those skills that employers are looking for. And many individuals do go on and attend a college and get some sort of professional certification or degree, and they end up staying within their industry and just advancing themselves through different specialties. We'll go to the next one. So if you are interested in finding out more, on our website, on the DIR website, under the apprenticeship tab, there is a link for all programs, and you can filter those through county and occupation. So you can really narrow down what you're looking for. If you weren't sure, you could just click and search whatever is in your county and see what looks appealing to you. And then you would contact the program directly and find out what their application process is and their wait list. Go to the next one, Daniel.
Mhm.
So this is how you would get started. This is a view of our website. And you can see up there under the blue line, apprenticeships about midway through on those tabs. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, there it is. We can go to the next one. So click that. Then you would click this module here that says become an apprentice. And just a little pro tip, anything in blue on our website is clickable. So let's go to the next one, Daniel.
Mhm.
Okay, and then to find those programs, you would click that blue find available apprenticeship programs. Next one. And then here's where we would filter our choices. So we'd put in our county and our occupation. Go to our next one. And then at this point, you could click search. So we can go to our next one. And then you'll see that it pulls up a list of the committees, and that's just simply the program name. And then the title or occupation. So you could click on the blue trade or occupation name. Next one. And then here it will tell you a little bit about the program, the length, the wage, your minimum age, any other requirements they have. For instance, this one, they need you to have a valid California driver's license. And physical requirements, I know that there would be physical requirements for these jobs, so it looks like that needs to be updated. But those are things you could ask when you call and inquire about the application. And the one thing I really like to point out to potential applicants is where it says written test and oral exam. So a written test, they may require of you at the beginning during your application process. And that's not necessarily to find out about your knowledge of that occupation, but perhaps your aptitude, or if you have certain math skills or comprehension skills. Some of them use the ASVAB, which I know you all are familiar with. So that just may be the written test. And you can ask what that written test is and if there's anything you need to brush up on, prior to taking it. And they typically do have some sort of retest policy, if you don't pass the first time. And then oral exam is just, I don't know why we don't just put interview out there, but that's all it is an interview. And I like to point this out because if a program does have an interview process, it's typically not going to be a one-on-one. It's going to be anywhere from 2 to, I've sat on one with 10 committee members performing the interview. So just to point that out, because I know if I think it's one-on-one and I walk into a room of 6 people, I would get very, very nervous if I wasn't expecting that. And then the most important part is who you would contact regarding that program. So again, you would call them, ask them what their application process is, ask them what their wait list is like, because again, they will not bring you in if they do not have employment for you. So those are really important questions to ask. The other things you could ask is, if there's a list of employers where maybe you could go and hustle up your own work, or is there anything else you could do to make yourself a more viable candidate? Like if you were going into the trades, maybe taking a welding class or something like that. So those are just important questions to ask to see how you would be a more viable candidate or recruit. We'll go to our next slide. So also within these websites, at the very bottom there, you're going to see if it's a veteran approved program. And if it says yes, then they are. If it says no, double check, because I know that many programs have gotten approval and they may just not have let us know, so we haven't clicked that, but it's always worth the ask. Next one. So again, I'm not going to read all of these to you. I'm sure some of you are already familiar with these different services and support networks available to you. And I'm sure if you needed contact information for any of those, either myself or Michael or Daniel, whoever could probably assist you with that. Next one. Yep. So here is my contact info. The phone number there is my cell phone, so you could call me or text me, email me anytime. I'm in the field a lot, so if you were to get an out of office response, you could try and give me a call, and if I'm available, I always pick up the phone, and I'm here to help guide you and help you see what's available out there that interests you. I think that's it
Nice.
for me, right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks, guys.
Nice. Thank you, Stacy, for speaking.
Hey Daniel, before you move on, I just wanted to say real quick, thank you, Stacy, for being here and helping us present on this topic. I think it's a very important topic for veterans to understand that it's another pathway out there for employment. But I do want to say for those of you that are maybe wondering why you can't use the chat to ask questions, we did shut that down because I will be putting resources into the chat within this next section. So if you do have questions for Stacy, feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom. We'll go ahead and answer those questions as they come in, or we'll use them to facilitate the questions and answers portion at the end. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to Daniel. Daniel's gonna talk to you a little bit about the CalTAP program. So go ahead, Daniel, when you're ready.
I'm ready now. All right, everyone. So, like I was saying earlier in our agenda overview, I'll be talking a little bit about the California benefits overview. So, I mean, maybe I should tell you a little bit about myself. I'm also in the Air Force Reserves doing things right now. So maybe Onyx at Travis, just to qualify myself with you guys a little bit. And I know how it is. These are all earned. You all deserve these. So here we are to tell you, how to access them, what you have access to, and, why you should be proud. So when we talk about benefits, we have these divisions right here. So if we look at the top, it's federal, right? That's the VA, USDVA, the Veteran Affairs, the VAs that everyone typically thinks about when it's being talked about, right? That's just the mothership, basically, of full United States. And then under that, you have Calvet, which is where we are, right? So we're at the state level. So, we're like, I'm going to keep using the ships, you have your mothership, and then you got your scouter ships coming out, right? So we're one of those, we're your state Veteran Affairs office. And, what we do is like basically offer you more benefits for a more contained area where you're living, right? After that, we have our county benefits, and who you're gonna hear about a lot, and you know, basically it's your county veteran service officers who can help you with uh getting access to your health care or your compensation or education benefits, so that they can help you with the paperwork, filling out with that, and just can even help you access local benefits like housing, or just questions you have for your local county. And then under that, you also have your service providers, right? So you got your DAV, Swords to Plowshares, American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars. These are basically organizations or individuals who are committed to also helping veterans and providing assistance and benefits and things like that. Back to Calvet though, right? So who are we, right? Well, this is our website, first of all. So even after this webinar, you'll be able to access our website whatever time you want. It's open 24 hours a day. You can see three key highlights here. So on that laptop looking thing, or it is a laptop, right? On that laptop, it says CalTAP right there. That'd probably be the main button you'd use, because it'll give you access to all the modules and curriculums that we have. Under here, you have find your local CVSO. So as I was mentioning in that last slide, right, at the county level, your California Veteran Service Officers, right? This button right here will help you find the ones local to you. And then at the very bottom right here, it says Veteran Resource Book. And this book is like gold when it comes to your California benefits. This is what it looks like on well, the cover, right, on the paperback. But this link will give you access to the digital version, which is the most up-to-date version because it's just like fixing one PDF online and then it applies to all of them. But other than that, right, other than being just CalVet, what is CalTAP? Okay. Well, CalTAP is basically what we're doing right now, right? So we were designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned federal and state benefits. And we also provide continued support and assistance as your needs change over time through the 5 pathways. So these 5 pathways include core curriculum, education, employment, entrepreneurship, and service providers, right? And when we say we continue to support you, we also have on here that contact CalVet number, right? So you call that number, it'll come to our office, and then any one of our CalTAP team will answer. If you have like a question, like you just want to get out with your voice and have response with your voice, right? We are there for that as well. But back to these 5 pathways, okay? So how can I use CalTAP online? We went over a little overview of that. But the main thing you want to know about using it online, so when we come back here, we talked about this CalTAP button with the laptop, right? You click that button, it's going to take you to this page, right? The California Transition Assistance Program, the CalTAP page. And if you click that core curriculum pathway, it'll take you to this next page, which will have a lot of modules, right? You're going to want to click that module 5 with California benefits. And it'll tell you your California benefits, right? There are many ways to do this, right? You could do it this way. You could do it by accessing that. Oh, let me just close this. I'm just gonna slide that over. So you could access it with that veteran resource book. And you can also access it here on the website. Or you can call us and ask us, So there's many ways you can access this. And here are some of your California benefits, right? So what are they? I've been talking about benefits and benefits. What are these benefits? So a hot commodity that people don't really realize that they have being a veteran, and that's very useful, is the college tuition fee waiver for veteran dependents, right? Just last week, I was at Butte College tabling and just reaching out to people. I was like, hey, you got questions for me, right? And then eventually one person came over and they were like, yeah, I don't think this applies to me. I just wanted to look, and I just kept talking to them. And then it came out that their dad was a veteran. And I was like, what? Your dad's a veteran? You have access, you could be eligible for this college tuition fee waiver. And she had no idea. So it's always good to keep that in the back of your mind, if you have children that are coming to college age. Whenever that happens, you just think about that college tuition fee waiver. What does it do? Well, I'm sure you've been reading this as I've been rambling. It waives the mandatory statewide tuition fee through state-funded schools, right? So UCs, CSUs, and community colleges, right? So UCs are on the table. Cal States are on the table. Community colleges are on the table. Something to keep in mind, though, is that it's open to dependents of disabled veterans with a rating of 0% or above. So, if you talk to your CVSO and get that service disabled rating, then even if it's a 0%, that's all you need to open the door to have that benefit ready whenever, right? So even if, you come out and you're like, oh, I'm fine, I don't need a new rating or anything, you should still open it up just to get that 0%. Another thing to keep in mind is the dependent must be a California resident. So they must live here for like a year. So you don't have to live here, but your dependent does. So they have to be a resident. And then, always you check out your county veteran service office. And if I didn't mention it already, your county veteran service offices and officers, they help you for free. So that's always, it's always a great place to start. Other benefits, you got the veteran driver's license, honoring veterans license plates, motor vehicle registration fee waiver. I know that one always grabs eyes, the fee waiver, right? But something to keep in mind, it's for the Medal of Honor recipients and ex-American or American ex-prisoners of war and 100% disabled veterans. Okay, so keep that in mind. With those veteran license plates, you can get a special logo and emblem of, if you had a division or a branch that you just want to represent on your vehicle. This link right here will show you all the different ones that they have. And then the cool thing is the fees that you pay for that logo and emblem will go back to support the veterans. So it'll go to that program. And then the veteran's driver's license, it's just it's like an ease of life kind of thing. You get that veteran on your driver's license so that you don't have to carry your DD-214s or your CAC, or after you probably won't have the CAC anymore. So having veteran on the ID is useful. And this DMV $5 fee, it's no longer there. So the only thing you have to pay is if you have to like renew your driver's license, just standard, renew license things or whatever. But the $5 fee is no longer. It's also fishing and hunting licenses and state park pass. So, if you just like to get out there and do outdoorsy things in California, there are so many parks and, opportunities to get out and, experience wildlife. So like for here, it's reduced fee licenses for veterans with a 50% or greater rating. And then with the state park pass as well, 50% or greater rating. Things to keep in mind. There's also the veteran tax programs, right? So the disabled veteran property tax exemption. So, the taxes vary from county to county and the way they do it. So for like very specific questions like this, I advise you to contact your county assessor first, just to see how the taxes work in that county, because they're not all the same everywhere. And then business license tax and fee exemptions. So, this is probably more in the DVBE range, disabled veteran business enterprise, which I think is awesome. But that's like a whole different, we're just doing a slight overview today. Okay. We're just trying to give you the little seeds to know that you have extra benefits here. And CalTAP, like our job is to connect to you. We're basically the microphone telling you, hey, you got these things. Oh, look, as I was just talking about. All right. I'll try not to get too excited about this part because I'm pretty interested in it. So basically the DVBE is just, it's an opportunity to open a business as a veteran and a disabled veteran, right? So something to keep in mind to be able to access or be eligible for this is you have to have a 10% rating. So if you have 10%, then this is a route you might want to take. Each state department has a 3% SB DVBE contract solicitation goal. So basically, California has set aside 3% of its, budget for handing it or for doing business with DVBEs. And 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but last time I checked, California was about 5th in the world for GDP. Yeah, California, 3% of that number is still massive. And I think that's just, money waiting for veteran businesses to come and, do business with the state, support the people. So I think it's very amazing. But before I get lost in this, there's also the Calvet home loans, okay? So, like Brad likes to say, right? You got your VA home loan and your Calvet home loan, and you combine them, and that's like 2 powers for one, home loan. Provides financing for veterans, competitive market interest rates, lower no down payment requirements, must reside in the home. Okay. So like I've been looking at this and I was thinking, maybe I should get like a triplex or a duplex. And apparently, as long as I'm living in there, it could work. So, it's just, ideas, CalVet, CalTAP, here we are. Just trying to, let you know. life goes on and there's exciting things on the horizon. We also have other divisions like the Calvet Women Veterans division. So basically, it's outreach, advocacy, community for women veterans. If you scan that QR code, there's a roster you could sign up for. Just, put your number in there so that, women know that there are women veterans. Last time I checked, I think like 11% of the California woman veteran population was on this roster. But, getting those numbers up will always help. And, more community, more advocacy. There's also a Calvet minority and underrepresented veterans division. It also provides, information, advocacy, outreach, community for minority and underrepresented veterans. So here's another roster. If you want to scan that QR code, which, put the list so people know that there are others. And then there's also Calvet homes for long-term care, right? So these provide long-term care for veterans. They offer the medical, dental, pharmacy, rehabilitation, and social activities. And as you can see at the bottom, there's a spectrum for the levels of care from independent living, right? So if they're able to do everything on their own, all the way to skilled nursing care, right? Where someone will like help them in whatever task they may need to accomplish. Let me take a quick drink of water. These are the locations of our Calvet homes. So as you can see, we have homes all the way up north in Redding, spanning all the way down south to Chula Vista, right? Everywhere in between, Yountville, Fresno, Lancaster, Ventura, West LA, Barstow. These are, things to keep in mind for the Calvet homes. 55 years or older, or significant disability, honorably discharged, California resident, able to live independently or qualify per VA eligibility determination, must have some type of health insurance. This is a list of things right here we've just handily put here. I won't read the whole list. I think everyone's probably faster at reading than I am, so we'll move to the next slide. And things to consider for those homes, residency costs, right? So it's about 47 and a half of your income. Residential care for the elderly or assisted living, 55% of your income. Intermediate care, as you can see, it's just, so they're not going to take all of your money, right? But, skilled nursing is, which is helpful because skilled nursing is very expensive and, very intricate and time consuming, right? So like it would be 70% of your income so that you'd have the rest for whatever you need. So it's pretty nice. We always like to say if you're considering a veteran home, probably visit it first, just to see if you like it or not. Here are all the numbers. So if you would like to give them a call, see if there's a list to join or anything like that. And we also have Calvet cemeteries, right? So, that was a great transition right there, right? So we have 4 of the California cemeteries, right? So we have the California Central Coast, Northern California, Yountville, and Southern California. We also have the National Veteran Cemeteries. Okay, so let's get into these burial benefits. Because, like I said, we have the phones where you can call us and stuff. It always seems, well, sometimes when I get calls, it's like a veteran's child who like is like kind of like very sporadic and they're like, my parent just passed, right, within a week or something. And they're asking like, oh, I heard, what can I do this burial thing? How do I do it? And things like that. So, things to consider, I know this is a long time for most of us, for all of us, hopefully, right? Is to check it out and just sign up for the pre-need, right? So like You don't need it now, but if you sign for the pre-need, they'll have all your information and you'll just need to put your DD-214s and the paperwork in one place. And then, you just tell your family, if anything happens to me, go to this, and then just give this to them and everything will be taken care of. Because getting calls, and your, children or spouse are just like frantic and they're just like, what do I do? How do I do? Um, this is a good thing to keep in mind and just consider for the future, just to for ease of transition for everybody and just everyone's mental well-being and things like that. So the burial benefits cover opening, closing graves, furnished grave liner, care of the gravesite, headstone or marker, military honor ceremony, presidential memorial certificate, a burial flag, and then even the VA transportation reimbursement cost. So for transporting the remains to the final resting place, which is something, people don't really consider, but yeah, it's real. Um, So then, oh, and then also about those homes, right? Even if you don't think you need a home, like we said, this CalTAP, right? Word microphone telling everyone about their benefits and things like that. I don't know how many times I've heard, right? Because there's a bunch of generations of us. I'll talk to like older veterans and they'll be like, I never knew that. Or like, I never heard of that. Or, yeah, I know I had benefits, but I didn't know I had that many and things like that. So it's just us spreading the word to our other fellow veterans and things like that when it comes, with the veteran homes and things like that. And then, so there are also many ways to reach out to us for us to continue supporting you. So there's the Calvet website, top left. The YouTube channel on that bottom right QR code has so many webinars that you have access to 24 hours a day, whenever you want. And they're more, defined for a specific thing, something to keep in mind. So let me just move to this slide. Here's my email. Here's the number to reach our CalTAP team. Any questions, you can call us and we'll be there right there answering them for you. Thank you. All right, Michael.
All
Here you
right.
go. Yeah.
All right, Daniel. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate for that
Thank you.
introduction.
Thank you.
Great job.
Okay.
Just before I move on, like I said, I have been putting resources into the chat, just PDFs of some of those benefits that Daniel had mentioned earlier. Also, one of the last two PDFs that I put up are going to be your Veterans Resource Book for those of you that want to download it on your computer right now, or maybe if you're watching on your phone, you can have it on your phone. But this is that blue book that Daniel mentioned earlier in the overview, just telling you more about those benefits that are available to you. And then I also threw in a link map. We're going to talk about the link map coming up right now in the next couple slides. But that's going to be an important resource also just for you to have in your files. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and move on. My name is Michael Cisneros. I am also a training coordinator with the California Transition Assistance Program. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the local interagency network coordinators, or we call them LINKs for short, and let you know what they do and how they work with veterans across the state. Go ahead, Daniel, next slide. All right, so this is the link map that I put into the chat. You guys could download it and have it on your computer, or download it, print it out, and keep it within your files. An important document to have. Basically, what links are individuals that work out in the field. So there's 8 different links for the 8 different regions in California. These individuals are familiar with outside resources that don't fall underneath the federal or the state government. So actually local resources that may be able to help you out. Most of the time they're veteran specific. Other times they're there to help out anybody within that region. But this link is there for you, veteran and your family members. So 8 different links. One of the things I do want to mention about this map is that as of right now, the Bay Area link is as of yesterday, or I believe as of Tuesday, they have retired. So that is a vacant spot right now. So if you are viewing from the Bay Area, feel free to reach out to one of us, a training coordinator, if you have any questions, and we can get you connected that way. Or if you want to reach out to Calvin Angel, he's the Central Coast link. He may also be a great resource that you can rely on as well. Next slide. All right, so what do links do? Well, links provide outreach to service members, veterans, and their family members. They make referrals and work directly with established service providers and networks. They assist with local emergencies and provide leadership and advocacy to local communities. So a little bit about what they do. Like I said, they're the boots on the ground guys for Calvet. They are familiar with their region. They stop by the county veteran service offices regularly, any kind of community college or USC or CSU within their area. They're pretty familiar with those individuals that work within the VRCs. And they help out with emergencies. So if you remember a couple years ago, we had the Paradise fires up north. The links were there to basically make sure that any veterans that were affected by those fires were taken care of right away. So if anybody had a Calvet home loan, Cole, who is the Northern Valley Link, was there helping them get, the insurance that they needed to get that home rebuilt, making sure that they were safe and in a place where they can start to recover. When we had the storms a couple years ago, all the links within every region had to drop what they were doing and attend those disaster recovery centers and work there for about a week or two. So that's what they do. Boots on the ground. They're familiar with their area and with local resources, and they assist when they can with veteran services and anything else in that realm. Next slide. All right, so connected to benefits, kind of just mentioned this. They have connections with individuals in EDD and the American Job Centers for California. Connections in the county veteran service offices. Like I said, they're there regularly, and they are very familiar with those the veteran service officers. Connections with Calvet, they're Calvet employee, and they also could get you connected with the VA healthcare system if needed. Next slide. All right, so this is a list of all the links. Again, their contact information. For those of you that are watching, feel free to take a picture of this slide. Reach out to your link, get familiar with them. One of the things that I like to mention is that they do accept cold calls. So, you don't have to give them a heads up that you're going to call. Just feel free to reach out to them whenever you need help. Obviously, during business hours, unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, I know every single one of these links would answer and help out. That's the kind of individual and services that they provide. So don't hesitate and make sure you take a picture of this. Next slide. All right, so that was just a quick overview of what the links do and how they help. This is my contact information. If you have any questions about the links or even about CalTAP in general, feel free to reach out. I check my inbox daily. If I can't answer your question, then I could probably direct you to somebody who can. With that, we'll go to the next slide. I believe the next thing we're going to do is start the questions and answers period. But before we do that, this right here is a QR code for our upcoming workshops. So Daniel mentioned earlier, one of the ways that you could keep in contact with us or keep in touch with what we're doing is by providing your non-DoD email address to that CalTAP inbox. Another thing you could do is just attend our webinars. So giving us your email address is going to put you on a mailing list so that you get a weekly email that talks about the different webinars we're going to be conducting. This link right here is going to take you directly to our registration page, or I'm sorry, our landing page, which will have a list of all those webinars as well. So if you are curious about what we're working with or who we're working with in the future or what we're going to be doing next week, feel free to scan that QR code and register for those events. Next slide. All right. So this is the questions and answers portion. I don't see any questions in right now. For those of you that are participating, if you're having issues using that Q&A feature, you can always raise your hand and we could see if we could start your mic. If not, we will continue on. I believe Howard or Dan, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. We'll just real quick, not seeing any questions come through, but before we move on, I just want to say also this webinar is being recorded. I put the link to our archives page in the chat as well. That should be the last link that you see in the chat. All of our events that we've been doing since we started putting webinars on back when COVID started have been recorded and are uploaded to our website. So if you want to go back and see some of the other webinars we've conducted, gather some of those other resources or contact information, you can click on that link and view any of those. This webinar will be recorded and we will be posting it probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We do have to do some editing on it and make sure that it's ADA accessible. And I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Daniel. And Daniel, if you want to close us out, I want to say thank you again to Stacy Teagarden for helping us out with this presentation. If you guys have any questions for Stacy that come up afterwards, feel free to use her contact information and reach out that way.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Thanks, Stacy. Daniel, I'll let you take it away.
Okay, well, as you heard, everybody, we're glad you were able to join us here for this webinar. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us right here at this top number. Someone on the team will answer. And yeah, I mean, if nobody has any questions, then we can conclude here.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
All right, stay well.